Dr. Matt here today. Today we're going to go over the benefits of intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting has made a huge impact in my life. It's made a huge impact in my health and my ability to lose 19 pounds in about 30 days and reduce joint inflammation, as well as have more energy and recover faster from workouts. So let's go through this. I got a list of 10 things here, so let's just start at the top. Changes functions of cells, genes, and hormones, okay? So when we go into intermittent fasting, it puts this stress on the body, okay? And the body actually will adapt to stresses that you put onto it, whether it be lifting weights and it changes the strength of the muscle, or the bones begin to adapt, or if we're putting other stresses on our body, the body will adapt to the stresses that are put on it. So if we reduce the caloric intake and we do some intermittent fasting with the body actually goes into a temporary but very healthy preservation mode, and it begins to optimize all of the body's functions, including cellular. It turns off bad genes, as well as helps to balance your body's hormones as it begins to optimize how your body's functioning on the inside. So fasting puts your body into this state of stress a little bit so that it begins to optimize and become more high efficiency. And I don't know about you guys, but I like it when my body is at high efficiency, okay? So second one here is lose weight. Of course, if you're not eating regularly, you're going to lose weight because you're not going to get the amount of calories in your body. But it's important to understand that when you're losing weight, to get the right nutrients in your body, which should be a higher fat intake, which will help the hunger and the blood sugar from dropping. But what some of the literature is saying is that in a period of 3 to 4 weeks, on average, people are losing about 3 to 8% of their body weight and 4 to 6% of inches off their waist. So what does that tell us when the inches are coming off the waist? It means that your stress hormones are becoming more balanced and your cortisol is not driving this response system in your body. It decreases the risk for diabetes. In fact, what the literature has shown is that with diabetes over a period of time, short period of time, that there's a 20 to 31% decrease in the insulin usage within the body and the need for insulin in the body, okay? Now if you are a diabetic, you need to be a little bit careful and not just go diving into, fasting right away, because the reality is if your blood sugar starts to drop and you're adding medications onto that, it could be a very dangerous situation. So you want to make sure you're supervised while you're doing this, but this intermittent fasting can help reduce the risk of diabetes in somebody who has maybe predisposed for it or has some insulin resistance going on, and can really help to minimize someone getting diabetes. Number 4 is it decreases inflammation and the oxidative stresses in the body. Digesting food is a very complex process for the body. It takes a lot of energy for the body, and it does create some inflammation in the body. And so by giving the body a longer time between meals, it allows the body to heal on the inside. And it gives the body a rest, for that matter. Number 5 here is improves heart health. Well, it improves heart health because it's decreasing the inflammation and oxidative stresses systemically throughout the body. And when you start to look at reducing inflammation, it's going to reduce it in the blood vessels, and it's also going to help to reduce cholesterol within the body, because the body's not going to have to produce compounds to decrease the inflammation because you're doing it by not inflaming it. 6 here is cellular repair. Okay, so for those of you guys that have a broken metabolism, or the machinery, the energy machinery in your body are sugar burners instead of fat burners, okay, the cellular repair can begin to happen when your ketones, which is a byproduct of burning fat, okay, your fat you'll get the ketones from the fat, and you'll use the ketones as energy versus glucose. And so autophagy begins to happen when your ketones and your glucose levels become one-to-one with each other, okay? Now, When that happens, your body goes into a state of autophagy, killing off bad machinery that's not working correctly, and starts to repair this metabolism that's going in the body and creates all brand new machinery for your system. So is it possible to reset and repair your metabolism? Absolutely, without a doubt. Now, of course, the more broken you are, the longer it takes to get to that point. But with fasting and with getting into the state of autophagy, which is the state of your body actually repairing itself, you can repair your metabolism back to a younger, more healthier state again. Number 7, when your body goes into this state of autophagy or very close to it, your brain begins to repair. Some of the research out there shows that your body at this state of higher ketones and lower blood sugar actually begins to produce its own stem cells and sends it to start repairing and regrowing neurons. And we'll see an increase in brain-derived neurotrophic factor, showing that the nervous system is beginning to repair itself, which is really cool with intermittent fasting. And they're seeing that with brain repair, this is helping people with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and dementia and some of the neurodegenerative diseases that are out there today. And fasting is having a huge impact on helping these people. Number 8 is it prevents cancer. Okay, so when you're not eating, your body still needs a fuel source. And it uses a fuel from fat called ketones. So you got sugar or you have fat for fuel. And sugar is very dirty. It's very easy to get, but it's not as efficient as ketones and fat in the body. And so cancer has its cellular metabolism only uses one of those nutrients, and that's sugar. So when we have a lot of sugar in the body, it's going to drive more cancer production in the body. And if you have cancer, if you decrease the sugar production and you increase the ketones, your body's going to naturally start to starve off the cancer inside, which is interesting because the literature is showing that today. Number 9, it may prevent Alzheimer's disease. So the studies that are out there with Alzheimer's and ketogenic diet, intermittent fasting shows that there's been a dramatic improvement in people who suffer with Alzheimer's and helping to reduce or improve the function of that disease, okay? And last is you get to live longer. And I know that's what everybody wants to achieve, and they want to live longer, but sometimes we don't always see that right in front of us, because when we're 20 or 30 years old, to do these steps here or to intermittent fast or eat ketogenically and see that our body is feeling and functioning probably fairly well according to the standard American lifestyle, to look and forecast out 10, 15, 20, 30 years is sometimes difficult to do. But go and look at your parents. Go and look at your grandparents. Look at what they're potentially going through right now with the degenerative diseases that they're dealing with, and just say, hey, do I want to go through that? Or should I start taking the active steps now to figuring out how to properly run my metabolism and run my body and making sure I'm doing the necessary steps to prevent disease from developing in my body. Interesting study found that when they put rats on a fasting regimen, that those rats that fasted ended up living 83% longer. And it's not just living longer, but it's living longer with a quality life. And that's what we want for you guys as well. So if you like this video, be sure to share it with other people and help spread the message of health and healing.